Вітаю всіх.
Hello everybody. I cannot say good day. If you allow me, I'll start with a Ukrainian language statement and then we'll switch to English language. Do you agree? First of all, I'd like to tell you about the last figures that I've got a minute ago from the State Service of Emergency Situation. 272 bodies have been found. 251 of them are in refrigerators at Torres railway station. We have already sent 2 trains composed of 4 carriages each in order to be able to take away the bodies of the dead people. Motivated and led by Russia, the terrorists do not allow us to evacuate all the bodies and to abandon the station of Torres in order to bring them to the designated place. In general, 810 workers take part in the operation. 355 of them are workers of the State Emergency Service. The Security Service of Ukraine launched a criminal case and created a group, a task force that involves all the law enforcement bodies of Ukraine, and our foreign partners, Western partners, arrived today to take part in the investigation of this terrible tragedy. As far as our position on investigation is concerned, it is unchanged. All-embracing, transparent and full-fledged international investigation. Ukraine is ready to transfer the coordinating role on the investigation of this terrible tragedy to our Western partners. The Netherlands can head this process in a clear coordination with the Ukrainian structures and the entire international community. As for the autopsy and forensic investigation of all the people who died in Amsterdam, there's one of the most developed in the world clinics, and the Ukrainian government is ready to transport all the bodies to Amsterdam in order to conduct the needed expertise for a forensic investigation. The Russian government has done nothing in order to provide an opportunity for law enforcement bodies and the Service on Emergency Situation and international community to have unhindered access. And that's why, because of all the used possibilities, including unofficial negotiations, we were able to collect the bodies and collect part of the proofs of this terrible tragedy. At the current stage, we do not have any doubt that this plane was shot down The reason of the fall of the plane is the missile strike, and it's rather the battery Buk M1, and it is absolutely understandable that to manage this system, a drunken pro-Russian terrorist cannot do that. Those were expert people who were trained, and we have information that this training took place on Russian territory, who received from Russia both financing and arms and training. And this is why this terrible international tragedy, this international crime against humanity, has to be investigated by the International Commission. And I emphasize once more, we are ready for the Netherlands to take up the management of the investigation and coordination as a country that suffered most of all, involving all the international community.
Once again, my deepest condolences. Deepest condolences to those families who lost their beloved. We pray for everyone. We pray for these families, and Ukrainian nation mourns. Let me update on the latest developments. Ukrainian authorities discovered 272 bodies, 251 of which are already loaded in a train refrigerators. We sent 2 trains, 4 cars, of which are right now located in Torres city. These bloody guerrillas do not allow the train to leave the area. We expect that the train will leave the area as soon as possible. Ukrainian government is ready to transfer an international investigation to our Dutch friends. Dutch side could lead the process of investigation together with the entire international community and Ukrainian authorities. We are ready to transfer all bodies directly to Amsterdam as one of the best well-equipped forensic laboratories located in Amsterdam. Ukrainian Security Agency already started a comprehensive and thorough investigation of this deadly terrorist attack, of this crime against humanity. Under the valid agreement between Ukraine and Netherlands, we are ready in a full cooperation with the Dutch side and another international and foreign agencies to conduct this type of investigation. Those who committed this international crime, those responsible will be held accountable, and together with the entire international community, we will bring to justice everyone responsible, including the country which is behind the scene, but supplied a lethal weapon, provided a financial support, trained these bastards, and supported and even orchestrated this kind of despicable crime. Ukrainian government will do everything to investigate this crime, to transfer the bodies, to provide any support to all respective governments, and to unfold to the entire world the truth. Thank you. Ready to answer any question you need.
Nick Miller from Fairfax Media Australia. Can I ask if the priority at the moment is the recovery of the bodies, the removal of those bodies from near the crash site and moving them to Amsterdam? If so, does the train have to go through Donetsk? And if so, was it wise to begin military action in Donetsk this morning?
The key priority for us is to recover the bodies, to collect all evidences of this crime. As I already said, we recovered 272 bodies, 251 of which are already loaded in the refrigerators. We facilitated a route how to deliver these bodies to any destination which is needed, including capital Kiev or Amsterdam, as I already said. In Amsterdam, we can get a perfect forensic expertise, as our Dutch partners can provide a well-equipped facilities. There is no indication of any kind of military activity or counter-terrorist operation at the area of crash site. We do understand our responsibility, because the key priority is to collect all evidences and to have thorough investigation.
So how are the negotiations going on? How do they happen when you are discussing with the terrorist bastards, or whatever you call them, when the train can move? You say as soon as possible. What's the timetable for it, and how are you talking to them, and who's talking to them?
We have, the government established a special commission, and in order to recover these bodies, in order to have an investigation, we have to talk to these bastards. And we did it, and due to this fact, we already recovered and collected the bodies and collected a number of evidences. So this is an ongoing and never-ending process. We are doing it 24/7 to make it as quick as possible.
Sir, it's Al Pessin from Voice of America. You mentioned several times that you're willing to give the lead in the investigation to the Netherlands. Are you responding to a demand from Russia or from the rebels that the investigation be taken out of the direct hands of the Ukrainian government? And is there a proposal from the other side that all of this be handled through Russia?
We are responding to the request of our Dutch partners. It was our Dutch friends who launched this request, and you know that Dutch people suffered mostly. And this is, I would say, even a humanitarian gesture. This is the right thing to do. And this will provide more independence to this investigation. I don't care about, not rebels, but these Russian-led guerrillas. They are not rebels.
Yes, Sergio Cantone from Euronews. Do you expect the Russian government to increase its cooperation in this case? Or, according to your information, to your feelings as a Prime Minister, the situation is getting worse at the moment, these hours? Thank you.
I expect nothing from the Russian government. What they can do, they can supply weapons, they can send well-trained agents, they can support these guerrillas, but they have to stop. And President Putin is to realize is that enough is enough. This is not the conflict just between Ukraine and Russia. This is an international and global conflict. After they shot down MH17. So what we expect from Russia and from Russian regime? To de-escalate the situation, to withdraw their agents, to close the border, to stop to support these bastards, and to stick to international law and international obligations, and to present and unfold every information and every single evidence they have. To get the real picture of what happened and to investigate this drama thoroughly and as quick as possible.
Yes, please. I got a question about the experts who are sitting in Kiev and cannot go to Donetsk and cannot investigate the place where the airplane came down. Can you say if they can go there in the next, I don't know, hours or days? Or is your strategy to bring the bodies to Kiev?
I want to update you with the latest information. The presidential plane touched down a few hours ago, and let me give you the correct numbers. So, at 10 in the morning, there were 31 international experts landing in Kharkiv city. 23 are Dutch experts, 2 German, 2 from the US, 1 from the UK, and 3 representatives of Australian embassy. So the plane touched down just a few hours ago. Absolutely, to get to the crash site. We need to secure the area and to provide the humanitarian corridor to get them to the crash site.
Do you expect they will go there today or tomorrow?
It depends on the security situation. We are doing everything we can to provide the humanitarian corridor and to deliver them directly to the crash site.
Phoenix Satellite TV from China. Will Ukraine provide the missile inventory to the investigating agency as the Russian demands? And what's your response to Putin's statement that no one should use this crisis to achieve its selfish political achievement? Thank you.
Ukrainian government and Ukrainian authorities and Department of Defense is ready to present an entire picture and comprehensive information relatively to all anti-aircraft missiles and surface-to-air missiles that are deployed on Ukrainian territory and used by Ukrainian military, or to be correct, and never had been used by Ukrainian military.
Mr. Prime Minister, David Herzenhorn from the New York Times. Can you clarify for us what seems to be a somewhat complicated situation where you seem to be in control of the emergency workers and volunteers at the site, but you say the rebels are blocking the train. How much control does the Ukrainian government have there? What are they actually doing to stop that train? And also, sorry, if you could comment on active reports right now that the anti-terrorist operation is moving actively into the city of Donetsk at this moment. Thank you.
We were allowed to get to the crash site and to recover the bodies only after we had a very long talks with these Russian-led guerrillas. But they still control the area, and they still control the railway station in Torres City, with which we, with the guns and barrels and grenade launchers. This is the way how they control the area. So if we get the deal, and if they allow us to transfer these bodies to the area that will be determined by the international rescue team, we will do it as quick as possible. On any other military experts, we expect that the security service of Ukraine will give the press conference. I want them to disclose the relevant information from the relevant agencies.
Hi, Steve Zaitchik with the Los Angeles Times. I'm wondering, in light of what both Secretary of State John Kerry and British Prime Minister David Cameron have been saying about European nations really putting pressure on Russia to do a lot of the things you're talking about, how much contact has the government, Ukrainian government, had with various European governments, particularly Germany, And what does the government expect from a country like Germany as far as the kinds of pressure they could be putting on Russia to make these kinds of changes?
Ukrainian authorities, Ukrainian president and Ukrainian government are in constant touch with all our Western partners. And let me reiterate once again, this is not the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. This is the global conflict and this is the global threat. Russia is on the dark side. And this is our priority, a key priority of the entire world, to stop Russian aggression. It was Russia who grabbed a territory of an independent country and annexed Crimea. It was Russia who sent the troops to Crimea. It was Russia who sent their agents to Donetsk and Lugansk. It was Russia who supplied lethal weapon, artillery, armed vehicles, and cash to these Russian-led terrorists. It was Russia who supported them. It was, and it is Russia, who violated an international law and the UN Charter. P5 member is a key international perpetrator. So it's in our joint interests. This is the interest of the world to stop this, to preserve peace and stability, and to restore international law and order in Europe, not only in the eastern Ukraine. Last question, if I may.
So good morning. John Cookson from Arise News in London. There are reports this morning of intense shelling in Donetsk this morning, especially near the railway station. Can you tell us more about that and if government forces are involved?
In an hour, there will be a press conference of the relevant agencies. I want to give you only credible and updated information.
So can you tell us what's happening in Donetsk at the moment?
In an hour, a security service will make the press conference, and they will tell you everything they know.
Thank you.
I am to update you with the information on the Malaysian MH17.
Hello, Prime Minister. Yeah, if possible, this will be the last one. Yes, please.
Okay. Hello, Prime Minister. I'm the correspondent from China Central Television. My question is, there are some media says the Ukraine government already defined this tragic crash was the flight shut down by the Berk from the rebels, and before the international investigation, and how would you explain that? And another question is, how would you ensure the international rescue team their safety?
Thank you for the question. We are interested in having a comprehensive, large-scale, widespread, and thorough international investigation. But let's speak about facts. What's on the ground? What's really on the table? The first one, Ukrainian military never used surface-to-air missiles. Second one, Ukrainian DoD will unfold all relevant information about the locations of anti-aircraft missiles. The third one, we got the footage and pictures of Russian-made anti-aircraft vehicle moving in the area that is fully and entirely controlled by Russian-led guerrillas. The fourth one, we have the pictures of the missile launch. The fifth one, we got an intercept telephone calls between the Russian-led guerrillas and Russian FSB agents. The fifth one, the sixth one, we got the preliminary evidences of the clear fact that MH17 was shot down by surface-to-air missile. The seventh one in the internet, this bunch of idiots posted a chat saying that we downed Ukrainian Russian military plane. And then they eliminated it in 30 seconds. In addition to this, we got a number of statements of intelligence agencies and respective governments clearly saying that they do share the opinion that MH17 was shot down by the missile, and it's crystal clear that any Russian drunken gorilla cannot manage this system. This is to be a well-trained agent. And what DOD reported to me is that to get this target and to shoot down the plane, they need to work in collaboration with another radar systems that we don't have on Ukrainian territory. And we want an international investigation to get the real facts. Who targeted MH17? Who supported and who provided the intelligence to those who committed this international crime? And I urge Russian government to respond to all questions that have been raised. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues.